BQ is back, baby, and I got a story for everybody, so gather around and hit the music.
Break it down!
I am live here today at the Philadelphia Navy Yard, and unfortunately, I'm here with a heavy heart. Don't worry, I'm not hanging up my bins. Believe me, the day I hang up these bins, I'll be 6 feet under. But yesterday, while on a trip at Barnegat Inlet in New Jersey, I was scaling the jetty with a group of students as we were going to observe Harlequin duck. Not a time to be hitting the music since I was guiding a group of students, but while I was out there, I was photographing ruddy turnstones with my phone attached to a phone scope attached to my Swarovski scope. And when a large gust of wind came by, you could call my scope Tears for Fears because something happened and it went head over heels onto the rocks of the jetty. The scope landed with a flat, thunderous thud onto the rocks of the jetty, a thud only rivaled by when The Undertaker threw mankind off the top of the cage at King of the Ring 1998. But somehow, despite the dent and scratches on the side of the scope, it still works. Thanks to the protective case, my phone flew off my scope and landed on a nearby rock safely. However, the phone scope, which is the tool that I use to attach my phone to my scope to document and video birds, fell into the drink. Washed away by the turbulent waters of Barnegat Bay, this is all I have left of my phone scope, the ring that I used to attach the case to the scope. So I'm going to try to freehand hit the music today, but depending upon the results, this might be the last time I do so for a little while until I get a new phone scope. What a bummer, but a situation that could have definitely been a lot worse. So I'm coming back to some very familiar territory today to practice some freehand digiscoping, because I'm live here at the Navy Yard. I'm going to freehand digiscope practice on ducks here, because they oftentimes are just floating and they're slow, and how I love them so. If you drive on Broad Street all the way to the end of the Navy Yard, you end up in this little corner of harbor here on the Delaware River, where a lot of ducks like to come hang out during the day and provide excellent views. Ducks like this female canvasback here that's currently preening itself. Or its male counterpart, this handsome Drake canvasback, catching both rays and Z's as it floats on the river here. We've also got greater and lesser scaup here, which I usually glance over, but nah, it's done. I'm going to talk about the scaup today. Let's do this. So there are two kinds of scaup around here, greater scaup and lesser scaup. This one in the center of the scope is a lesser scaup. If you look at the side profile of its head, you can see it's got a little bump on the back. We call that a peak. The one right now in the center of the scope is a greater scaup. The way you can tell is the head is perfectly rounded and it often holds its head down like it's heavier. There are many other factors to differentiate between greater and lesser scaup, which I could get into, but it's a lengthy discussion, and often the head shape is one of the best ways to go. Not always, but one of. That doesn't look like the Clash at all. Right here in the center of the scope is a female ruddy duck. Look at that tail sticking up here. Also got a pretty unique head shape compared to the other ducks around here. Long, sloping bill. This one right here with its head tucked in is a male ruddy duck. You can even see it's starting to get its springtime reddish color on the breast. Also, if you look, you can see a white cheek patch on that bird as it floats away. Peace. Oh, there's the female. Here's a much better example of the male ruddy duck here. You can see that interesting shape along with that white cheek patch, sticking up tail in the back there. It's even got a little red coming in. Yeah. Look at this big dog plane coming in, man. Holy smokes. You can even see that landing gear down. The rarest of the ducks we have here in the Navy Yard, we have a long-tailed duck here. Look at this guy. Two of them. Check that out. Obviously, they're a diving duck. How about that? Pretty crazy, you know, I'm using my scope to look at these long-tailed ducks, but they're really not that far away. There they are. Long-tailed duck is even flagged as a rarity in eBird. I'm going to take a screenshot of this just so I can use it as my supporting documentation. It's great stuff. Changing up the scene here in the Navy Yard, if you look high atop this ship, there's a nest. But that nest belongs to an osprey that's been nesting atop this ship the last few years. And recently, someone observed common ravens bringing sticks to this nest here. I've seen common ravens before, but I've never seen them in Philadelphia County. If I did, that could be my 200th Philadelphia County species. I'm still one species away from getting my 200th Philadelphia County bird. Had a couple of misses, so it's up in the air. What'll it be? Who knows? Time for a total change of scene here. Went from deep waters of the Navy Yard, now to the shallow waters of Meadow Lake at FDR Park. Different water levels here are going to bring in different kinds of ducks. So out here we've got right in the center, northern shoveler. Let's get closer. Here we are, we got male northern shovelers here. Very handsome gadwalls here. Oh, nice. Male and female American widgeon right here in the center of the scope here. No need for a scope on this one. Red-winged blackbird there, chipping away. Do it. Do it. There you go. Back in the scope, pretty distant, but very cool looking male ring-necked duck. Actually, it's in the same genus as the greater and lesser scaup that we saw earlier. Oh, hey there, widgeon. What's up? That all-black bird right there with the white bill, that's an American coot. Did you know that Philly was this birdie? Because I did, and I love it. That red-winged blackbird we saw earlier, now up close and personal through the scope, on the side of the path, doing its thing. Well, the light is fading, and I've procrastinated long enough. So it's just about time for me to pack it in here, folks. But first, I have an announcement. In a few weeks, I'm going to hold a bird walk, followed by a bird party right here in Philly. Do you want to be invited? Get involved here and let me know. I'm going to throw this bird walk and bird party soon because the waterfowl are going to be leaving the Philadelphia region in the next few weeks during spring migration. So I want to check them out soon. Until then, stay fresh and peace out, y'all.